I cut my finger chopping cheese, but I think I may have greater problems, right? Greater problems. What do you get hanging? Okay, what do you get hanging from apple trees? Sore arms. Let's see. Okay. Last night meeting my girlfriend, watched 3 DVDs back to back. Luckily, I was the one facing the TV. All right, there's the 3. If you're pissed off at what you're hearing, if you don't like what you're hearing about that, that's okay. This is a fluid living process known as an episode. Everything else I do in here. If you've got other ideas for different little segments above and beyond what I'm already putting out here, please, by all means, let me know. I'm always looking for opportunities, ideas for episodes. I give credit where credit is due. If you come up with something else, like in the Mind Check as an example, Nick in Pueblo, he's the one that came up with that idea. He says, Mike, you know what? You love music? Why don't you do that? Okay, so back to it. If you've got ways in which to improve the comedy, you got ways in which to add other things to segments to where we can break this thing up and make it to where it's out there. It's really out there for all of us. I want it. I want all of it. I want all the information. Get at me the way in which you can get at me. Make it happen, okay? So anyway, that's the comedy corner. All right. Well, let's see. We're going to go into. I'm going to do it this time. I'll do the Remember the Legends. I had to tie this guy in. I didn't write him down first, but you got to tie this guy in when it comes to this. What's your superpower? Comic books and everything else. The incredible, the incomparable, the amazing Stan Lee. Stan Lee, living legend, icon, didn't start out when comic books started out, obviously, because of how far and long ago they started, but really a pioneer, a person who really put himself out there and really was a trailblazer for comic books and basically the thoughts and everything else and way in which he took. Because there was already comic books and things out, but he took the craft of comic books and the different characters and took them and then even took them and put them to a greater height and made them greater when it came to life, right? He did. He really elevated everything. So, American comic book writer, editor, publisher, and producer. Born December 28, 1922, died November 12, 2018. Multiple shows on TV, a National Medal of Arts recipient, which, like I said, is amazing. He's a trailblazer. Always made cameos on all of his movies. You had to look and see where he would show up, right? Where he'd make his appearance in. Stephen King, same thing. Stephen King movies, you always had to look for Stephen King. Same thing. He was going to be in there somewhere. A brilliant mind with impeccable art skills and basically infectious charisma. And he's legendary. Just amazing. His name is synonymous with greatness when it comes to comics. All of his creations and characters not only possessed powers, yet their scenarios were possible by even the mortals who read the comics, watched the TV shows and movies, right? All right. The epicenter and very soul of the Marvel Universe, Stan Lee, definitely the epicenter and very soul of the Marvel Universe, were at his command by simply a thought, and his enigmatic smile became legendary. Taking his dreams and visions, letting the audience in for the ride, made Stan Lee a true inspiration for us all. Read, read, watch, and delve into his world, young and old, young and old alike. Appreciate the gifts he left behind. Of course, he passed away, so leaving that all behind. And Stan Lee to me was just amazing because I go in and I like the Amazing Spider-Man, and there's a couple of the different characters, the Fantastic Four and Thor, and there's a bunch of different ones that I liked. And this is just from the comic book part. This is not even talking about when they came out with these different, when you came out with all these streaming services and all these movies and everything else. Yeah, before all that, you had just your imagination to go by. You'd read these comic books. They were larger than life and everything else. And he's like the godfather for comic books, really. I mean, amazing. One of them. I mean, there's other people out there too, but really when you talk about, comic books and things like that, Stan Lee's out there, right there with it. It's kind of like they're out there hand in hand. All right. I'm going to break this up again. We always want to get out there and break this thing up and make it in different parts and things. Well, that's another little segment. The next segment coming up is Mic Check. No pun intended. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. Again, I thank you for continuing to listen to the AOI podcast. This episode in What's Your Superpower and the continuation of being out there. I've got some people that have listened to, I've talked to a few people that have looked it up and they know they have it saved back for later when they have time. I've got other people that have listened to a couple episodes. I've got other people that are waiting for the next one to come out. It's just amazing in the following. And that's just a process. It's getting this thing out there and giving it the opportunity. Like I said, that bottle of wine, uncork it, let it breathe, and just keep building. If you have ideas, again, more and more little segments and things that I need to be doing to add to this wonderful, shall we say, collaboration, this mural, if you will, this verbal mural, and all these ways in which all these colors and everything else are going to create and make other things better, well, guess what? Please do. You have the ways in which to get at me about that. You can tell me word of mouth or otherwise, but please do. This is, of course, the Mic Check little part. Again, thanks to Nick out there. He came up with the idea for this. And so I don't know if he likes it or not, but he's going to hear his name because I'm a great appreciator of people when they come out and they interact and they make this a full immersed situation where we all can enjoy and appreciate every episode and all the different things that make what I think the AOI podcast is and makes it great and continues to make it even better. I want improvement. I want, I have those other little different things that we can add in here. Give me an A or give me an F. If you've got, checkers versus chess, these other different little metaphorical table talk ideas that we can put in there. I didn't go over them in the opening, but, I've listed them before and so on and so forth. And yeah, we can discuss those too. I just want to find a way that we can go through and, I want to make it the best it can possibly be. I want it to be a great product and a great vehicle for all of us out there to interact and to talk about things. That's why it's an arena of ideas, because it gives all of us a chance to talk about what we want to. So again, nothing is out of bounds. The gloves are off. Step your game up. Oh, by the way, give me an A, give me an F, so on. Those are questions raised. Those can also be, little segments and different ideas and things that whatever you might have, right? That's what it comes down to. It's like the Constitution is a living document. This is a living and fluid podcast, and every episode is another little page or chapter in this book that we have known as this podcast and these episodes. it's an ever growing thing. We can go through and do whatever we want to do here. I mean, nothing's out of bounds. This is listening over hearing. So if you have anything to say, it matters to me and it matters to this podcast. All right. So please do. You want to add things in, you want to make it better or add more segments, please do. Well, anyway, mic check. Getting off the tangent. All right. Today's mic check is deadmau5. deadmau5 is a electronic musician / producer and techno pioneer. All right. He's a Canadian music producer and techno pioneer. Joel Thomas Zimmerman, aka stage name deadmau5. By the way, he is a superhero too, because if you ever see him, he has this mouse-like head that he has over his head. So I guess he is his own, he is his own superhero. That is his superpower. And again, I don't know how much you guys out there know about techno music or electric music. If you look at it really starting in like the in the late 80s, you had, different like alternative and also electronica music that came out and has kind of built along the way. Well, coming from all this, they had, you had all these electronic artists and things like that. Well, then it kind of built into its own genre, if you will, being techno. But it had its roots starting with electronic music way back in like the 80s or who knows even more. I'm not going to do on a history lesson, but so what he took that, those electronic music ideas and really became kind of a pioneer, if you will, wearing that mouse headgear, right? The mouse head. Let's see. Stage name again, deadmau5. He's again dealing with electronic music and DJ, mainly produces progressive house music. Born January 5th, 1981. He has been in movies. He's had music and soundtracks. He made it cool to listen to electronic music, really. In 2002, became known as the deadmau5 guy. Someone called him the deadmau5 guy. Finding a deadmau5 on his computer, the name stuck. So basically, on his computer, that's the way in which a lot of them create the music for this electronic music, techno music, and found a deadmau5 on his computer, on his keyboard probably. The name stuck, so did his elaborate stage performances, donning the headgear, again, of a mouse, to look back or be, to never look back or be forgotten. Sorry. Note, Disney has had legal disputes over his mouse head, the mouse head that he wears. It's really, really close and strikingly to what Mickey Mouse, right? Still has it, and his trademark is intact. So songs like Petting Zoo, Ghosts and Stuff, Escape, Raise Your Weapon, tons of collaborations and albums to his credit. Makes deadmau5 a EDM legend. Performs out today. You can hear his influences and appreciate what he brings to the techno table. No pun intended, right? Listen to his catalog, watch his videos, and understand that, like I said, the mic check doesn't have a control over anything. It's open to all genres. I'm going to cover everything. I want to give it a chance and give it the opportunity to put out there for everyone. Look, a lot of people may not know even what techno music is. They've heard the term, they have an idea. Maybe they look down upon it negatively, but that is a ton of talent. There's a whole lot of work going into that. There's a lot of techniques and everything else that they do when it comes to the process of doing their music and creating their music and making it all happen. So you got to give props and give him everything when it comes to that.